You scared me there first. So you startled me. You startled. There's a difference between scared and being startled. I don't know the difference, but I just feel like there is one. Thank you. That for me? Thank you.
Come bearing
gifts.
Come bearing gifts.
I think a Capri Sun is a supreme gift.
Just in case you get parched.
That will happen.
What's good with you?
Your mic on? Say hello. Did you say? Oh, there you go. No, it's good.
Testing. I mean, bro, like
levels look good.
Yeah, but the staff don't take care of this anymore. Like
Negative.
Okay, you gave them all for the holiday.
That's a fact.
Okay, cool. All right.
Just looking at the angles. All right.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm happy with it, but no problem.
Happy with what? What angles?
Just the angle, the shot, the one shot, but also the color. You're blending into the couch. That's what I'm really looking at. I feel like you're blending into the couch, and I can't really see the defined lines to try to see if the shot works for me or not. But we're live, we're running. It's
I don't know what to tell you, man.
You guys are coming on this journey along with us. We are at 254 subscribers.
Yes, sir.
Exciting times.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys.
255. The moment you hit that little white subscribe button, please let us know in the comments below.
Appreciate you all.
Podcast episode 46.
Colin 6.
Say that again.
Colin 6. Yeah, fluid. Look at you.
No.
Yeah.
Hold on.
46.
Look at you,
bro. You went there with it.
That was good.
You went. What's that? Babbel?
No, that's Google Translate.
Really?
Yeah. No. I had to make sure. I don't know. You could have said anything. I don't know.
You're such a nerd, man.
And the Haitian viewers ain't really been, letting me know if in fact you have been on point with it. But it sounds to me like, and I hate to be, that guy to have, had the other person had to validate what you were saying.
Listen. Check this out.
That's all I had to go on. Google Translate. Google Translate.
My Haitian folk.
She's saying it right?
Yeah.
That sound about
yeah, but clearly she's not Haitian. But my Haitian folk, they don't owe you no type of explanation here.
This is true.
Okay.
Not at all. On the Kiss and Tea podcast.
Currencies. Look at you.
Hey, man. I really want to get your opinion about something. I'm actually
talk to me.
I'm actually I'm on go mode when it comes to this next topic. Folks who clicked on this link kind of already know where I'm going with it. The way I want to kind of set it up, though, don't you think it's kind of interesting that these past few just major headlines that we've been sort of incurring, Kyrie, Kanye, Mississippi, Brett Favre, just whether it be whatever it looks like at face value, I think it's fair to say, man, it's leading to some very interesting and much needed conversation.
Listen, I gotta agree.
If there's one thing I feel like all of this, all of it's in common, it's really the catalyst of some really thought provoking conversation.
I gotta agree, and I mean, having these dialogues are important. You know what I mean? At least in my view, right? Whatever case may be, we've spoken about this since episode 43, right? I mean, I'm all good with the dialogue and all that, whatever case may be. But at the same time, man, like folks out here on social media, man, on these platforms are legit crazy.
Oh, you want to go there real quick?
Like legit. I don't even want to talk to. I mean, I don't want to give it too much air. So I'm good with the dialogue. Yeah. You know what I mean? I encourage it. You know what I mean? That's what we're doing. You know what I mean? Having this podcast, whatever, you know what I mean? But I mean, just like...
We've had some interesting conversations about Kanye and kind of the scenario he's placed himself in, he's placed in, however you want to slice that, whatever you want to do with that, right?
Sure.
I had some conversations about that, some very thought-provoking, layered conversations about that. We talked about Brett Favre, the Mississippi scandal. We're not letting up on that.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that we, media, what's up?
Yep.
Pick it up. Let's have this conversation, an open dialogue as a society en masse, in general. I don't know why it seems like between the Kiss and Tea podcast and maybe a few other folks that are just mentioning this. Shout out to Shannon Sharp, who's kind of really talking about this genuinely. But for whatever reason, and we talked about that, check out one of our later episodes. I mean, it seems to be some sort of concerted effort as to why there hasn't been much talk about what's happening in Jackson, Mississippi, water crisis, but also what's happening with Brett Favre and how he's basically allegedly, taking a whole bunch of money from the less fortunate in our society and the Mississippi society. And another thing that seems to be dominating headlines, much more than a Brett Favre scandal, much more than even a Jackson water scandal. Deion Sanders, Mr. Prime Time. Are you familiar? Are you familiar with what's going on?
I am.
Are you?
I am.
You are.
How
can you almost not?
Yeah, I mean, and I looked into it. You know,
looked into it.
Yeah, I looked into it.
Set it up real quick. A lot of folks I feel like who've already clicked on it kind of already understand what's happening, what's at play. For those who may not, I will try my best to kind of sum this up and frame it so that way we can all ensure we're all on the same page with this conversation moving forward. Is that fair?
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
That's fair?
That's
a lot of
fair.
layers. I understand.
Right, no, that's fair.
I'll try to set up in a way. So, Deion Sanders.
Prime time, baby.
All-time great. Whether you talking football, baseball, the man done did it all. We've all known him to be just, I guess, America's athlete. He's been to the mountaintop and back when it comes to sports. Mm-hmm. Just what it is. He's revered for it. He was offered an opportunity to coach about 3 years ago. He was offered an opportunity to coach at Jackson State University.
Right.
This is a university that's designated as an HBCU,
right.
Historically Black College and University. There are roughly 105, 6, 7, give or take, HBCUs that are designated here in the United States. Tight-knit community. It's a culture of its own.
Right.
It's a very impassioned community. This community loves HBCU culture, and they love their HBCU school.
Right.
Okay. I loved HBCU culture. It's a culture that I've ingratiated myself in. It's a culture that I indeed have a very near and dear appreciation and reverence for. I just want to throw that out there as well.
Sure. Yep.
Right? Because I think that plays a factor in the conversation of what we're talking about.
Right.
We're talking about Deion Sanders, who for the past 3 years has been the head coach of the Jackson State University. I don't even know what they are. Right? Jackson State University. And has done a phenomenal job as their head coach. Are you familiar with this?
For all 3 years, right?
For all 3 years.
2 championships. 1 year went undefeated.
Last season,
cool. Yep.
Undefeated. No other team in the conference beat them.
Right.
They won the championship. And, you know, I think it goes without question that he came and turned the program around.
Agreed.
Talking football, right?
Agreed. Yeah, agreed.
He came as a head coach. He came with a plan. He came with a vision. He came with a philosophy that a lot of folks bought into that put him in a place to whereas he genuinely turned this football program around. I don't think there's many people that can dispute that as fact. Agreed. Right?
Right. I agree.
You want to maybe pause there? Do you want me to do anything you want to say about that?
No, I just. So when you said he turned the program around.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take a step back.
Thank you. Okay.
Let's take a step back. Let's try to narrow it down a bit. Mm-hmm. What's the beef?
Oh, you want to jump there?
Yeah.
His beef about him. Okay, gotcha.
Right,
okay.
Right.
He left.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he left.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. In short, he left. He spent 3 years there.
Mm-hmm.
He built an amazing program the last 3 years.
Yep.
He's brought in some great talent.
Mm-hmm. He's
recruited in some great talent that would have went elsewhere. Some, if not most, have already declared that they were going somewhere else. But because of Coach Prime, because of Deion Sanders, because of the man, the myth, the legend, being there at the helm there at Jackson State football, they went there as well. So he turned it around. He brought a lot of resources.
Yep.
I believe they got a whole new football field.
Yep.
During his tenure.
So
he brought some things in, and he left.
Right. So I guess
Can I throw this out? He left to go to a predominantly white institution. He did not go to an HBCU. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Got you. So, bro, I think it's a few things, right? I mean, for me, like my initial response, I try not to like insert any emotions in terms of why this person did X, Y, and Z, right? Like for me, initially, I'm just looking at this as a business play.
Okay.
Initially, whatever case may be,
okay.
right? That's why I wanted to drill down a bit in terms of how did he turn the program around? What did he do? What boxes did he check off? Whatever case may be, right? So I told you I did. I went back and looked at the interview. Whatever case may be, that Primetime did 2 years ago with Stephen A., etc. Right, and basically he said part of making this move to be the head coach, whatever you mean, the head coach for Jackson State, right, was to one bring the spotlight, the acknowledgement.
Yep.
I mean, you got some top talent there that could really compete. On that high level. You know what I'm saying? Compete with the best. Right, again, that acknowledgement. That spotlight.
That's right.
Right. Second, he wanted to show him, listen, you can go ahead and recruit top talent. You know what I mean? I know you're not,
These were his words.
Right.
These were his words. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He was doing that. Flipping folks. I mean, you mentioned that.
Yep.
Whatever case may be, right? The resources. Whatever case may be.
He also said, I wanted to come and create some impact. I want to come and create.
Facts.
A
change.
A change. The impetus and catalyst for some change. Here,
which
spark.
Which I believe, he did. And I mean, that's frankly, if you just want to look at it from an accomplishment standpoint, did he win? Right.
That he did.
Yes, he won.
Yep.
Whatever. So when we say he turned the program around in that sense. Yep. You know what I mean? He checked off the boxes.
He did. Check the boxes off. He came. He delivered.
Right. So my initial, response to that was like, listen, he did what he needed to do. Whatever case may be. If you take a look, if you go back and actually listen to the interview, he did with Stephen A. He never committed to a specific, time period. In his head, again, I'm speaking, like I'm not in his head, but I'm trying to put it all together. He's probably thinking, you know what? I've done what I've needed to do here. Let's move on to the next mission, right? Again, that would be my initial
I think
response.
That's fair. I think that's only right. And he's making a play for him and his family.
Facts. Right?
I mean,
facts.
He's going from a $300,000 salary, $300,000 per year to I believe it's now $5 million.
Yeah, all of that.
Okay,
so all of that. I mean,
all factors.
All of that. That plays part in your decision making.
Sure.
Definitely. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, but I had to challenge myself and be like, listen, Kiss, you gotta try or at least attempt to actually look at it from everybody's point of view that this decision impacted and continues to impact. Right. You know what I mean? Whether it be the young recruit that could have went elsewhere that decided to go to, Jackson State because of Deion, because of Primetime.
These are all factors. That's
whatever case may be. Absolutely. Whether it be, the parent.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I was reluctant. To send in, their kid to, Mississippi State, whatever, or Jackson State rather. You know what I mean? But Deion and his recruiting team, the engine, whatever you mean, convinced them. All of that, whatever case may be. I just think, like, you look at it, from the community as a whole down there in Mississippi. Feeling probably thinking like, listen, man, you turn your back on us, right? So I had to challenge myself and try to put myself in each one of those scenarios. So
where'd you land? Where'd you land with? Which is a hard thing to do.
It's hard. No, it's hard. Like, you know what I mean?
Like, you gotta acknowledge the things you don't know.
Word.
You're not a Mississippian.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So there's a lot of things.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm only basing this on what we're hearing right now. Whatever case may be, right? So, you know what I mean? As we were actually, prepping to do the show, whatever, talking about it, right? It's like you can be right or wrong, and wrong at the same time. Like I get, the criticism, right? And I believe, it's genuine. Like you got to, Deion, you got to stand on that.
Criticisms for some who may not, be tuned in into what could some of the pushback be. It's you turned your back on us. You're running to a better opportunity, a better, I guess, a better paying job. You're running for the money.
Yep.
You were never about this HBCU life from the rip.
Yep.
It's very clear that you're showing your true colors.
Yep.
This was all a play from the rip. You just wanted to come, use this as a stepping stone or use this as a way to really get to the next level. And this was all self-serving. This was just Deion being Deion, I guess, and Deion being prime time. And, you know, I guess the culture is having a real issue with him coming in. And I guess we can now, even talk about some of the things he was even saying as he was coming through the door that I imagine had a lot of people believing that he was in this thing for the long haul. And I say that as somebody who believes, I also think we're kind of being a little bit too reactive in the moment. And I think maybe this is one of the things. Maybe we need to just sit quiet a little bit, kind of let a couple things play out before we really start throwing stones and casting indictments.
Right. See how this play out. Let's not Monday morning quarterback this.
You know,
whatever case. So let's sit back for
a lot. I recognize we just don't know and don't have privy the information to.
So you said something which I agree with you, but you said something which is, you know what I mean, is important, at least in my view, right? He said, you know, throughout the process of prime time, you know, being a head coach, you know, down in Jackson, you know what I mean, he said some things that may have given an impression that he's going to be there forever, whatever case may be, right? I got to be fair. The man never said that. The man said,
I haven't seen any record of it. If somebody has, please check us.
Check me. Let me know.
Let us know so we can. I haven't seen any long-term verbiage. Period.
And that alone, I got an issue with in terms of the culture. You know, just having these false expectations. I don't want to even say false, but forced expectations.
I like that.
You know what I mean? Forced expectations on somebody that may be in a position of leadership for that period of time. Whatever case, so you can't just, you know. You can't just make somebody a Moses or make somebody a Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? So I just think, you know, folks did not manage their expectations.
I would agree.
Right.
Can I take that a step further?
Please do.
I you know, you're talking manage those expectations. How dangerous is it for us to always be pointing at the go, and it's fine to support and root, but when are we going to carry the cross? When are we going to start looking at ourselves and say, yo, what am I doing?
Right. And
what am I doing?
Right.
It ain't just one person that should carry the HBCU burden, the HBCU cultural burden, right? I recognize what he symbolized.
Agreed.
No, I do.
Agreed.
And I want to tread lightly with that.
Symbolism is very important.
It's extremely important.
Symbolism
it's dangerous. It's important. But
exactly. You know what I mean? And I get him. I get having a spokesperson out there. I get having a cheerleader out there. Right. But at the same time, let's be honest with each other and start vetting these folks that you want to go sit out there and cheerlead.
I would agree.
Because folks are human beings.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
To me, primetime has always been primetime. He hasn't done anything different. Look at the exit, right? Which is comical, right? Which is, you know, folks would probably look at it and say it's classless. All of that.
I think it was a little at least from my perspective, it was kind of classless. It was crazy.
Agreed, but it's primetime. You know what I mean? Like, it's primetime, whatever case may be, right? So just like, again, in my humble view, I just think the culture has some, you know, some soul searching in terms of, you know, like you just said, can we mobilize behind one cause, all of us, as opposed to just saying, you know, this person is the savior or this person is the tip of the sword and all that, because, you know what I mean, you set yourself up for disappointment because we're all human.
You know, let me try to just get a little underpinning here in terms of, at least in my mind, this savior effect,
right?
How it detracts from, again, the I. What am I doing to make sure that I'm? But I also want to be very clear about our expectations in managing what this means to HBCU culture, whether he's here or not, because the fact of the matter is, yeah, he had an impact on the culture, but, you know, relatively speaking, he ain't really, it ain't nothing. It was something there before he came up.
Absolutely.
You know, he brought some cameras to it.
Absolutely.
But I promise you, now that he's gone, it's going to continue to do what it do.
All day.
Okay?
Which I believe.
The Jackson State is in they call it the Southwestern Athletic Conference, the SWAC.
Mm-hmm.
That's the conference that they're in. It's the Division I, kind of the premier HBCU football conference. Right? Those other teams, like the Bayou Classic, you got Southern, you got Grambling, you got these. They go against each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jackson State ain't got nothing to do with it. They pack in stadiums 60,000, 65,000, 67,000. These are numbers that sponsorship worthy.
Right.
These are numbers that's going to get the attention of money outside that can support and kind of generate and create some buzz within the culture. Now, Deion did bring some cameras and some lights and all that good stuff. Great.
Right.
But relatively speaking, they've been doing it. They've been laying the groundwork, and it's been happening. He just kind of accelerated some things, in my point of view.
And I gotta agree. I have to agree with you, right? I believe, my man went down there. He started a program. The program gained some speed, got the traction going, got a lot of momentum. Right. All right. You know what I mean? Now it's time to move on, whatever case may be. But again,
what are we going to do now?
But before I even want to go there, if you don't mind, whatever case may be, it's like, do you think that Deion owes an explanation to the folks, especially not even the folks, to the young kids, you know what I'm saying, that went to that program,
without question,
whatever case may be, for only one reason alone, because of prime time. Yeah. You know what I mean? Gave up a lot of opportunity. You know what I mean?
No, I
drunk the Kool-Aid, whatever case may be, because again, I think for us, it's difficult, but I think we need to challenge ourselves and understand, like, this doesn't just impact one or two, folks out there. Like, it's impacting folks.
I think we owe it to what we do know of who it impacts.
Word.
These students who've transferred one time, and this is their
only.
Bro,
I was going to bring that up. Right.
They went there with the expectation and understanding that my coach was going to be Deion Primetime Sanders.
Yep. Absolutely.
Man, you gotta take pause for that.
You got to. Whatever case, you got to.
You really gotta factor that in terms of, I guess, how we start to form our opinion about this situation. We know that to just be a fact. Now, is that collateral damage? Is it, what does it mean? And I don't really know, but I know it's heavy for a lot of families.
And absolutely. And it's
gotta be.
It needs an explanation from the man himself.
I agree.
Right? And I say from the man himself, not from the school, and I say from the man himself because the reason why, these kids chose Jackson, you know what I mean, was because of the man. Yeah. It was because of prime time. So we got to address that. Again, I think you mentioned on top, like, it's very important for us to tread lightly and understand how this is going to unpack and resolve itself. Yeah. See what's going to happen next couple of weeks, couple of days, whatever case may be. Like, again, I don't know if this is my man's end game or if this is the grand scheme of things. Whatever
and let me tell you, let me just be completely just transparent with that. I guess I'm a bleeding heart. There's something in me that says this ain't it. He's up to something. There's an end around that he can't talk about right now. So, but I was reminded, this is Deion Sanders. He's been showing us. What's that Maya Angelou quote?
Yeah. Do you know exactly when somebody show you who they are the first time, man?
He ain't never not been him.
Yeah, please believe him, man.
I think that's one constant. Like, it's always been Showtime.
Prime time, man.
Partly why we all loved we fell into it because it was helping us, supporting us. It was promoting us.
Prime time.
Man, prime time. It get old real quick when it's on the other side now because it's now like, bro.
But you know what? But again, I from his perspective, and again, I don't know him. He speak to Prime, none of that, whatever case may be. I just went back, and try to really listen to his words and listen to that interview.
I agree.
If you're just going on, listen, I'm gonna do A, B, C, and D, and I'm getting out of Dodge. Man, he done A, B, C, and D.
Yep.
Whatever.
He did above and beyond. He gave above and beyond that. Jackson State is left in my mind. But again, talk back to us. Jackson State, in my mind, is left in a better position.
Absolutely, because
Deion Sanders.
Absolutely, agreed. Now, did folks in the process get screwed? Absolutely, at least in my view, and that needs to be addressed. Whatever case may be. In the same token, my G, like, I understand why the culture's like, you know what, F this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
It's a lot of hurt. I'm hurt. When I heard that, I was hurt. I was sad. I was sad.
My first emotion was like, listen, you know, again, got a lot of evolving. Still, I gotta do. My first emotion was like, man, listen, again, I really don't inject emotions in these things. I mean, it's like, okay, cool. I got the momentum. He took you where he did A, B, C, and D. My man definitely, you know, was probably using this for a play. All right, move on, get over it. But, you know, like you just said, folks are generally hurt by this.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Like, and folks really feel, again, I just think it's that, you know, like, again, you know, another black leader or black person just, you know, turning their back on us type stuff.
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of abandonment feelings going on right now. A lot of folks feel like you know, not even just he came and kind of did his thing and went. There's some folks who are using this language like he used us.
Right.
He used the culture.
Right.
He played on our emotion and our reverence for this culture, and he used that and manipulated it to put him in a position. Him. Forget everybody else. Him. Mm-hmm. Put him in a position to be able to shed light on what his capabilities and what he's able to do. And this is what folks are saying. The first opportunity that came his way, he took it.
Listen, fair. All of that criticism is fair, and I think, you know, if he hasn't done so, hopefully, you know, he gets to address all that. Yeah. But no, I think all of those points, that criticism, fair points.
It's fair points, but let me. Can I just tell you what I struggle with?
Talk to me.
Is it fair?
I was gonna say that. I was gonna ask you that.
Is it fair that
I was gonna ask you that
somebody of our let's keep it cultural. I'm not even gonna try to isolate it. Somebody from a black man,
right. Let's give it a buck.
Got a better opportunity. A black man got a better opportunity that's paying him more money.
Right.
Which we all know, if money is being used as a tool and a resource, the more of it, the more resource, the more tools, the more opportunities.
Right.
What other culture does this? What other culture points to that person and says, you crossed over to that other side, shame on you. Shame on you.
And I think in this particular case, my only pushback would be, again, it's hard when you hear somebody, you know, uses their own words, right? Because my man said he's not in it for the money. But again, this is prime time we're talking about here, right? So I get what you're saying. You know what I mean? We should be happy for him. We should celebrate it, whatever case may be, right? Again, I just think you always say, you know what I mean? It's layers to this.
A black man got a better opportunity with more money to be able to provide for his family and to be able to do the things he needed to do based off of what the work, sweat equity, and everything else he put in the past. Why aren't we unified in applauding this man? Because I know we feel spited. Trust me, I get it. I'm just talking through this.
I get it. I just thinking, I mean, like, his play to whose expense? Right, I think that's how.
Good point.
I think that's how.
I think there's a lot of people that feel
and you just
misused
said it. Yeah,
you just said it.
Yeah, people feel misused. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
misled.
Yes.
Whatever case may be. In a tough situation, again, I want to go back to like those kids. You know what I mean?
The kids.
And I mean, like, you out here, you can't be out here messing. You know the number one rule. Like, you cannot be out here messing with people's kids, and you're gonna say a kiss. That's a stretch. No, it's not.
Does this make him any different than any other college coach? Well, I know it's about the kids. To be frank, to be honest, and I don't want to be too crash with it, but it's always going to be a kid. There's always going to be that kid. If I'm a head coach, moving, changing, and depending on the timing, and there's always going to be that kid disappointed, left out, maybe collateral damage. In my mind, right? I mean, is this the way? Is this what happens at the college level in college football with college coaches? And this is just something that we all just heard about because it's affecting us, but. If he left 3 years from now, if he left 13 years from now, or 30 years from now, would there be a kid that came there for prime who's still going to be left out in the cold?
I agree with you.
And I don't know if I have the answer to that. That's a real question.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. You know, the timing is the timing really doesn't matter because whether, like you just said, whether it's 3 years, 13 years, 30 years, whatever, there's always going to be some folks who's going to, just going to have the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
Whatever it should be, right? I just think, I look at this as like a startup. My man's recruiting team is out there getting all the top talent, whatever case may be. You know what I mean? And I just think, folks looked at it like, listen, I went there for you, right? Because at no point in this process you gave me the impression like you were leaving.
Yeah.
Whatever case may be. Because, at no point, whatever case may be, like, I think you mentioned you mentioned this off camera, like, bro, you don't even have a succession plan in place.
Bro.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's crazy.
You know what I mean?
It just feels awkward. It just feels classless.
Right. You know
it feels rushed. Yeah. It feels bad. It feels bad. I
see why folks are upset.
I too.
You know
I do too.
And I mean, me. I'm typically not the the touchy type Philly type person, whatever case be. But like, come on, bro.
I get it.
Come
on,
bro.
You know
what I mean? Like, come on, man.
I struggle though.
Likewise,
I struggle.
Me too.
I don't struggle with my feelings about how it went down. I do struggle about the idea of us just as a why aren't we in unison applauding this man getting a better opportunity? But I do understand to whose expense that this opportunity come about, and that ain't cool. And I just don't know if I'm ready to just fully commit to that aspect of it. Right. I just don't want to yet.
And I mean, and again, what
I hope he ain't that guy.
Facts, but what makes it even more messier, right? Like more messy is like the savior. Element.
That part.
When you pepper that in,
that
whatever
case
part, be, it's
that
like,
part.
Like now, folks are blinded. They can't even get to to celebrating the man, for his accomplishments because like you were put on this earth for X, Y, and Z, and like prime time. He's partly responsible for this because he said it was a calling. You know what I mean? He did insert the Lord. Whatever case may be.
He brought the Lord into it.
Yeah, whatever case may be, right? But but to his point,
again,
he did mention, I'm elsewhere here. He calls me to do this. He calls me to do that. Whatever case may be.
He be here for 30 years.
Those
words never came out.
That's what I got from him. The man said, I'm called to San Francisco. He called me to do this. He called me. I got like, you know what? I'm here for a short period of time. I'm gonna, accomplish X, Y, and Z, and I'm out of here. Yeah. Whatever case may be, right? But it's not that black and white.
It's not.
It's not.
I really want to challenge some folk to really just think about, Deion Primetime, Coach Deion Primetime Sanders is gone.
Right.
What now?
Right.
We can spend all day long spinning our wheels about the woulda, shoulda, couldas and why he did what's. Hey, he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
What now?
Mm-hmm.
Let's continue to carry the HBCU banner the way we know how. And in fact, those who want to be petty, kind of like me, double those numbers in attendance at them football games now, just so he know it ain't just the fact that he was there while some folks was there. It's about this culture. It's bigger than one person.
Agreed.
And I think the moment we kind of fully understand that in fact the reason why it's bigger than one person is because it's about all of us working toward this thing.
Facts.
All of us attending the games,
Facts.
Giving back, doing what we need to do, not breaking into cars in the parking lot when the coach is trying to coach. Like, all of that matters.
Right.
All of that matters.
Word,
it all matters, right?
Word,
so we want to be sure that we want to set our students up, because let's not get it twisted, bro. That's what it's about.
Right. And
that's what it's the students.
If I may add, right, don't prop somebody up to be X, Y, and Z, and when that person don't actually meet your expectation that you've actually forced upon them.
Prop
right?
them up if they meet them.
Exactly.
Prop them professors up that's been there 15, 20. Them OG professors we all know, everybody know and been through.
Right, but at the same time, like, if you propping them up or propping that person up and that person actually doesn't meet your expectations, that person can't automatically be a villain neither. That's just my take. That person cannot be a villain.
I think this is a clear case of
manage expectations.
We propped up a person based on a whole. It's like Ringling Brothers, like a whole bunch of pomp and circumstance. Yeah. Now he delivered. Now
he sure. And again, that's what I want to. I think that's important.
He delivered.
I think that's important. My man delivered, right? And on all of the points he's mentioned, he's delivered. Like you said, more than he was supposed to. You know what I mean? Which I agree with, whatever case may be. So you can't take that away from him, man. But I just think in the manner in which he just left, and it's a lot of layers, man. It's a lot of layers. It's a lot of layers.
What are we going to do from here, HBCU Nation? Those who even have an opinion about it, what are we going to do? Are we going to attend game? Folks, let me know what you plan on doing. I know I'm going to be attending if you can. I mean, we always be around with the HBCU schools and stuff. Hey, just let us know what you plan to do. How are you going to give back? If you care this much to have an opinion and a comment on Deion Sanders about what happened and what took place, then I think you should probably care enough about the institutions and about the students that are there, because that's what it's about. It's about these students. Yep. Let's prop up some of these professors that's been there, like a Miss Byers.
Word, right?
Let's prop up like that's got time in. Miss Byers is at our high school. I think she's not teaching there no more.
No.
Yeah, retired from our high school, but she's just an OG in the game that's time in. Decades, generations of students that can go through Penwood High School and talk about how Miss Byers impacted and changed the trajectory of their lives. I know I can. I know you can. I know we talk about it to this day.
Yeah, all the time,
right?
Man.
That's who I want to prop up. We propping up these folks, fly by night folks. No disrespect to Coach Prime, but he flew by night. We got some folks who got time in, man, who's already proven their stripes. Prop them up. And a lot of them are the professors. But I guess because they ain't part of the sports program, I guess we don't know how to cheer them on and support them and create monuments for them. But I believe that's what we should be doing. Prop them up in the classroom, man. I think what happens on the field is just icing on the cake.
I mean, yeah, it's just
Coach Prime getting all of us tied up in the knot, man. It ain't even that. It's deep, but it ain't that deep.
That's what I was gonna say.
You know what I mean?
We try to keep it light on here, like whatever case. So listen,
he ain't shaking nothing. It's gonna be what it's gonna be anyway.
We get it, but it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, he's not the movement. You know what I mean?
Thank you. One monkey don't stop no show.
Nah, not at all. Whatever case it be. But at the same time, again, you can't vilify somebody for
and that's why I'm struggling.
Not meeting your manufactured expectations.
I'm struggling. I think he deserves all the criticism for the transition, how he left and all that good stuff. But
he got some explaining to do.
To hinge it on the fact that he got a better opportunity, more money, put his family in a better position as a black man in this world where there ain't too many black coaches in college sports. Like, why aren't we applauding this?
He went there.
It was weird to me.
He went there. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
Did what he needed to do.
Right. And oh, by the way, he did what he needed to do at one of our great HBCUs and our great
in 3 years, actually.
That's a fact.
Whatever case may be, just like.
Yep.
So I just think, like, it's just.
Did he stack the deck a little bit? Sure. Bringing all them heavyweights with his son Shador and all that good stuff. But why fault him for being able to do that?
He stacked the deck.
If you got it, stack it.
Well, the way I look at it, he showed you how to recruit.
Right. He kind of he showed you some things.
Yeah, he showed you how to recruit. Yeah. Showed you a different recruiting strategy.
Let's be fair. Okay,
Deion
is one of the reasons for them.
Right. So
it ain't him leaving. It ain't the same recruitment strategy that JSU got.
So if the school got to go invest into somebody who's gonna be that recruiter, that face for them, you know what I mean? Another NFL superstar. If that's the play, then who left the playbook for you?
I think this is another opportunity. If you can't get another NFL great to come be your head coach, this is a great opportunity for just a great narrative and change and just being able to just control your story.
Yep.
Deion came. You know, it's always dangerous to attach a name to your institution, and they don't think of your institution unless they think of that person.
Yep.
You don't want people thinking of JSU because of Deion Sanders.
Yep. Because
right?
when that person leaves,
exactly, you see what happens.
Right.
Your name recognition and everything else go along with it. I think it's now time to create a story, a legacy story. Now that you still got the attention, you still got it. What you gonna do with it?
And I mean, like,
what you gonna do with it?
You got the momentum, but.
Yeah. No, it's great. I think it's a great opportunity. Folks, let us know how you feel about it.
I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence, man.
I'm on the fence too, and I'm not ashamed to admit that.
No, not at all.
You know what I mean? I think this is one of them situations you can be right in two total opposite. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and you can have two different polar opinions on situations.
And that's where I'm at.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's where I'm at. How are y'all feeling? Kiss and Tea podcast episode 46. How are you feeling about this Coach Prime situation? Which side of the coin are you landing on? Let us know in the comments. Again, man, hit the bell button. Let you know when we drop, so it'll be alert for you. But some folks have been saying that they haven't been getting an alert. So if that's happening for you, deselect the bell button, then select it again so you can get alerts every single time we drop. No, I learned that. Yeah.
Okay.
I read that on
YouTube savvy right there.
I think I read it on like a YouTube Reddit page or something. I'm trying to get this thing going, man. But thank y'all so much for tuning in.
Yes, sir.
Kiss and Tea podcast episode 46.
Coughlin, cease.
Peace.